What's going on, guys? This video is to pose a serious question. Is Deontay Wilder ever fighting again? Like, it's not like a joke. It's just, I'm just wondering if he's fighting again. What's happening? Because the latest I heard, at least the rumors is he was having an unnecessary rematch against Bermane Stiverne in a fight that the first fight wasn't competitive. It was his only impressive win of his career as far as a deserving opponent. It's the only guy, honestly, who we thought that was in the top 10. And at this point, there's no need to have a rematch because Stiverne really hasn't done much to put himself relevant. Now, I know Stiverne has put himself in an eliminator by beating none other than nobody. But it just doesn't make any sense because after his defeat against, his lone defeat of his career, which was back in 2015 versus Deontay Wilder, his only fight since then was Derek Rossi, a journeyman who he went 10 rounds with, right? So we could assume that if that fight gets made this year, sometime this year, that it's, again, another disappointing opponent for Deontay Wilder. Now, I understand the Povetkin thing is not his fault, right? But since winning the belt, I will say this again. Since winning this belt, he has not fought a guy that's even flirted with the top 10. Maybe been in the top 10. Maybe Chris Aureli at a point was in his top 10. But not legitimately a top 10 fighter of the world. And his last opponent, Gerald Washington, who he looked horrific against in the first few rounds, fought him on 10 days' notice, a short time. So to compare somebody like Deontay Wilder to Adonis Stevenson is honestly disrespectful to Adonis Stevenson because Adonis Stevenson has good wins. He just hasn't done anything relevant lately. Deontay Wilder has one okay win and hasn't done anything relevant since then as well, and has looked much worse in comparison than Adonis Stevenson as far as his boxing goes now. Now, having said that, Deontay Wilder is incredibly athletic. He has power. But I just don't understand when people believe, for some reason now, right? This is the shift this is a shift in the analysis of the sport of boxing, where somebody could bring power and power alone and be competitive with somebody like, I don't know, Anthony Joshua, who has power and skill. Somebody like Vladimir Klitschko, who has power and skill. Like, everybody has power at the heavyweight division. Every single fighter has power, with the exception of maybe like a Tyson Fury, who has power in his own right. But the knockout power, it's there. I just don't see how he, in my eyes, would beat these guys. Luis Ortiz, I think, would beat him. But if that eraser's there, then prove it. And you need to prove to the world that you are relevant, because all I see Deontay Wilder doing is making himself look like a really unlikable guy, which includes getting in fights with people in front of their family. That was the whole Dominic Brazil issue. I know somebody was talking out of line, but I mean, as the heavyweight boxing champion of the world, you need to sometimes be that and just suck it up and move on with your life, because it is what it is. Like, I just don't understand why people keep making excuses for this guy, because he somehow he's like the victim because he broke his hand, and then he had Povetkin test positive in a fight that was not his fault, that wasn't signed. I just don't understand it. And if his hand's 100%, I expect him not to fight somebody like Stiverne, because even myself, I allowed him to fight. I totally forgot the name of the original Polish fighter who he was supposed to fight, the number 2 ranked Polish fighter behind Andrzej Van Fora. He got injured, or he tested positive for steroids as well. I was saying, like, yeah, you could fight this guy if your hand's 100%, because I looked at his hand. He actually had a hand injury, largely to do with the fact that he doesn't turn over his punches properly and close his fist due to his lack of fundamentals. But, now that your hand's 100%, take a big fight. I know Joseph Parker is difficult to make negotiations with. I get it. But you need to do something, Deontay. You need to do something to make yourself relevant in the eyes of the boxing community. That's all I'm saying. Thank you guys for listening. supporting my show and liking. I will put up more videos soon.